a secular society, a secularizing society, there are various forms of organization or movements which come to take the place of religious movements. And I'd go back to Erich Fromm, who was, I think, of all the psychoanalysts and members of the Frankfurt School, he was the only one who was really sympathetic to religion. He said that all human societies need to have a frame of orientation and an object of devotion. And Clifford Geertz has said that the one thing people really can't stand is the idea that life might be meaningless. Therefore, you have to have some kind of a substitute for religion when the religious hierarchies are beginning to be eroded. And I think anthropology, certainly in its more popular forms, is an example of this. I'd say that the conservation movement is another. The animal rights movement is another. And anthropology, well, it has quite often been likened, perhaps rather frivolously, to a church, with the idea of fieldwork being the blood of the martyrs and so forth, and the apostolic succession of in which every anthropologist looks back to his tutor's tutor's tutor and so on. But I think perhaps more seriously one can see quite a lot of commonalities. Still going back to this idea of anthropology as I would say a para-religion, but without any pejorative concept, connotations. But if you think about it in the more, if anthropology really wanted to become popular, there would be a big opportunity if it could somehow project itself as being a way in which people could improve themselves in an individual and spiritual way, which I think is what Margaret Mead and certain other popularizers were trying to do. But the whole trend in the last 20 or 30 years has been rather to adopt rather more cynical interpretations of human societies than hers. But I wonder perhaps whether anthropology might not go back towards valuing the important things in so-called primitive societies more explicitly, and there might be perhaps it might strike a chord with the general public in a way that it hasn't in the last 20 or 30 years.
Yes.
And there are anthropologists like Discola, for instance, who point the way perhaps towards how this might be done.